Check two. Thank you for coming to this year's Tuba Christmas concert. If I could indulge my friend, tuba player, Stephen Orlando, can you play me some downbeats? You just heard tuba part every march and every polka that's ever been written. Can you play me some long tones? There, you just heard the tuba part to every slow song and chorale ever written. And if you were playing a professional orchestra, 90% of the tuba player's time is doing this. 2, 2, 3, 4. Only to play maybe one or two notes at the end of a symphony. Well, here we're going to show you what tubas and baritones can really do. We're going to start off with "O Come All Ye Faithful." Along with performing for you today, I just wanted to give you a little bit of history and idea of what it is we're doing up here. This Tuba Christmas idea has been around since 1974. Now, the first Tuba Christmas in 1974 was in Rockefeller Center, and over 300 performers showed up, and they all wore Santa Claus outfits. Now, it was organized by a guy called Harvey Phillips, and in the middle 1900s, Harvey Phillips taught tuba at the University of Indiana, and he went all around promoting the instrument, his love for the instrument, promoting events for the tuba, getting composers of the day to write music for the tuba. As we demonstrated before, yeah, it's kind of meant to be a little bit of a joke, but it's not far from the truth. And he organized a Tuba Christmas concert for his mentor and teacher, a guy called William Bell. Now, these two were amongst one of the first real virtuosos of the tuba instrument. And their students went out into the professional force, either as educators, performers, and then spread Harvey Phillips' passion for the tuba. And one of his students was a guy called John Turk. John Turk came to Youngstown State University in 1972, and he was my tuba teacher there in the 1990s. He retired in the early 2000s, but his influence still remains today. Just talk to some of these players. They're young. They know the name John Turk. They may not have taken with him, but they know the name John Turk. And John Turk told me the story of the first Tuba Christmas because he was there. And amongst all the players there, they kind of came to two conclusions. The first one was they really didn't expect it to sound that good. They all agreed, this just sounds really good. And the second conclusion was, too bad something like this will never happen again. They were convinced that it was a one-time deal only just for fun. Well, they were right about the first conclusion, but boy, were they wrong about the second conclusion. These Tuba Christmas concerts are still played today in over 300 cities worldwide. This year, we have about 232 cities. 1 is in Costa Rica, 4 are in Canada, and 227 cities in the United States. 16 of them are in Ohio. 20 other cities in the nation having their Tuba Christmas today. And 9 of them are happening right now, including 9 other ones, including this one. So that would make 10. So we're just going to give you a little bit of a history lesson about the tuba and the instruments and the people playing the instruments as well. So we're going to continue on, and next we're going to play Deck the Halls, and it's going to be followed by God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the instruments you see in front of them. It's called Tuba Christmas, but tuba, it kind of engulfs a family of instruments. Johann Sebastian Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, they never wrote for the... And Vivaldi, these composers, they wrote thousands of concertos. They never wrote for the tuba. And the reason being was the instrument was not yet invented. And composers in the 1800s, yeah, there were tubas. They were early serpent-like instruments, an ugly-sounding instrument called an ophicleide that played low sounds. And so, yes, they were starting to incorporate these low sounds into the orchestra and band, but they're relatively boring. And there was a few composers that, add a little bit of excitement for the low-end instruments. So guys like Harvey Phillips and their students, one I mentioned, John Turk, and many, many others, as they went out to the professional force, they started contacting composers of the 1900s and getting them to write stuff for the tuba. So we've got concertos, sonatas, all kinds of stuff written for tuba as a solo instrument, as well as the euphoniums. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about these instruments. I mean, the tuba is relatively one of the youngest instruments out there, if you consider everything in the big picture of history of the world. And also the saxophone as well. We're not going to talk about saxophone players. Most of these are smaller instruments in the front. We call them euphoniums or baritone horns. Can we just hold up the euphonium and baritone horns? They look like tiny tubas, and that's pretty much what they are. And they're higher pitched. They're smaller. So in a group like this, they would play most of the in harmony parts. In a band setting, I say the baritone players, euphonium players, they are the chameleons of the band. Sometimes they're doubling with the trombones. Sometimes they're doubling with the horns. Sometimes they're doubling the trumpets. Sometimes they're doubling the tubas. They're doubling with all the parts. And sometimes they have their own actual catered part as well. So they get to play, and one of the beauty parts about playing the baritone, they get to play a little bit of everything. We also have the tubas. Now, the tubas come in various sizes. We have the 3/4 tubas. We have a couple of them in the middle and one over there. Can we hold up the 3/4 tubas? The smaller tubas. Yep. They're wrapped a little bit smaller. They're geared for, maybe the middle school band students, 5th, 6th graders, 7th graders. Then we have the 4/4 size tubas. Can we hold them up? These are maybe in a professional band, high school, college. Do we have any 5 or 6/4 tubas? Something a little bit bigger. Get a huge, bigger sound. Yep, we got a couple of them right there. Now, in the back, sousaphones. Now, sousaphones, they're wrapped around, they stand on your shoulder, they're used for marching band. Now, if you took a sousaphone and unwrapped it, and all these tubas unwrapped them, and we laid them down here on the floor, they're going to be the exact same length. The exact same length. They're just wrapped differently, and of course the belt flares out in the sousaphone, not so much in a 3/4 tuba. But they come in all shapes and sizes. We also have a couple oddball instruments, call them. I don't want to say oddball, but they're different from the norm. Here in front we have a marching baritone. Hold the marching baritone. Kind of looks like a big fat trumpet. But it's the same exact baritone as the other ones that were held for you. It's just meant to be held like the bell goes forward. We also have a B-flat British horn. It's a small little version of a baritone. Check that out. It's pretty neat. Makes the same exact sound as an. It's just a little small bore, a little bit smaller instrument. We have a helicon. We hold up the helicons. It's kind of like early ancestor of the sousaphone. The bell kind of shoots off straight instead of angled forward. We also have the mighty midgets, they're called. Tiny tubas. If you unwrap them, they will. Oh, thank you. If you unwrap them, they will be the exact same length as a sousaphone. They play the same exact notes, they're just wrapped a little tighter. So there you have it, some of the instruments you see in front of you. We're going to continue on our next set, First Noel, followed by Good King Wenceslas. We have quite an age range of people up here performing. And the beautiful sounds you're hearing right now, we only had one rehearsal earlier this afternoon, and that was it. They come from all walks of life. We've got from middle school, high school, college, professionals, amateurs, retired, and there's just people, they played tuba in the high school band, a lot of them played throughout college maybe, but they still have their instruments and they dust it off, blow out the cobwebs, and here we are playing. Can we have all of our middle school students stand up? Let's have our high school students stand up. If we have students who are in college, stand up. And that is, even though that is a great portion of players up here, but they come from all different walks of life. And also, I would like to acknowledge my friends in music education. A lot of them came to play with their students. Can I have my friends in music education? If you're a music educator, somewhere, high school, college, wherever, stand up. I myself, I teach in Austintown. We got band directors here from all over. And so I want to give a shout out to them for sending their students, and also the band directors. I don't know if we have any standing out here in the audience or they're elsewhere here. I just want to give a shout out and thank them for everything they do in this region, for getting kids to play and just making beautiful sounds like this. Austintown myself, I have 2 students here. Matthews has brought 4 students. Warren Harding has brought 6. Gerard brought 2. Niles brought 9. We have 1 student from Boardman, 1 student from Newcastle. We have 4 from Canfield, 2 from Lakeview, and of course, our usual record breaker, 10 from Hubbard. And the universities represented. We got Robert Morrison brought 2. Grove City brought 1. West Virginia University brought 1. Geneva College brought 1. Ohio University 1. And Burrow 1. And then from Youngstown State 4. And I always like to announce our youngest and oldest. We've had quite an age range in a group like this. Our youngest player is Jasmine Purdom, 5th grade, age 11. Stand up, Jasmine. And our oldest player, Keith Larson, who's 6 years old. Jazz and Keith, we have gifts. Stambaugh has gift certificates for the both of you from MVR Restaurant. So maybe after performance, just pop up here real fast and get them, okay? So yeah, I want to give a good thank you for all my colleagues in music education who do everything that they do. Our next set we're going to play for you, Go Tell It on the Mountain, which will be followed by O Little Town of Bethlehem. Tuba Christmas idea has been around since 1974, 48 years. This is the 23rd year here in the Mahoning Valley. And the first Tuba Christmas concert, it got started in 1999. A lady called Teresa Kirkland, and at that time she worked for the Trumbull County Conventions and Visitors Bureau. And at some point she saw a Tuba Christmas concert elsewhere and was so enamored by it, wanted to bring one here to the Mahoning Valley. Why don't we do one here in northeastern Ohio? So eventually she tracked me down and said, "You're a tuba player, would you like to be the conductor of this?" And I said, "Absolutely." And so our first performance was at the Eastwood Mall. And I think there's only one player here who was at that first performance and first rehearsal. And so we were upstairs in the Eastwood Mall, probably about a room half the size of this stage, with about 70 to 80 players. So we were crammed in there. And players were spilling out in the hallway. And so we had another band director there who went out in the hallway to just conduct and follow me so they could just follow along, just to keep up. And we performed for a few years. We did it like this for a few years and played on the main concourse in the Eastwood Mall. And eventually, it got bigger, so they had to find another spot for us. And for a couple of years, they had a couple gutted out stores right next to each other. And so that became their performing arts center for a few years. And so we performed in there, and Eastwood Mall set up chairs, they had an audience in there. And it got too big for that room. And it just so happened that same time they turned that room into a store anyway. So they put us somewhere down the hall near one of the department stores, and it was just a bad catastrophe. We had 130 players show up. We were crammed in this hallway, audience about the size of this, and no one could walk through. So yeah, we were breaking quite a few fire codes, but sorry, we were doing what we were told to do. And so we outgrew the Eastwood Mall. So it just turned out that we got moved over to the Eastwood Expo Center, which is a very large room, and it worked out very good over there. And if you know anything, the history of this valley, the Eastwood Expo Center no longer exists anymore. It got torn out, and they built something else there. So we were looking for a home, and so we were just so fortunate that people here at Stambaugh stepped up and said, "Hey, we could do this here." And so I think this is the 8th year here at Stambaugh Auditorium, correct me if I'm wrong, and it's a blessing. Not only we got a finest auditorium around, probably one of the finest acoustically sound places in the nation. So let's give a hand to the people here at Stambaugh Auditorium for housing such an event. Our next set here, we're going to do the Wassail song, followed by We Three Kings. You know, the holiday seasons, it's all about family and being with your loved ones. And that's a great thing. One of the not so great things is, you know, if you're dealing with the loss of a loved one, whether it's a family member, a close friend. I know in our Tuba Christmas family, every year we see familiar faces and I see some new faces. I see old friends and I make some new friends. And, you know, unfortunately we had regular players who passed away through the years. My dad passed away in 2017. He was a regular here at Tuba Christmas. Always got the oldest one. He was well in his 90s, still oldest. As a matter of fact, he refused the oldest one because he said, I'm going to keep coming back. If I keep coming back, I'm going to be the oldest. Give it to somebody else. He wanted to give someone else a chance. And there was another gentleman called Bob Dilly, passed away a few years ago. And so he was the oldest one for a while. And then he said the same thing. If I keep coming back, I'm going to be the oldest. And so on and so on. So yes, we've had losses throughout our Tuba Christmas community here. And so we're going to play Silent Night. And so this is just dedicated to anybody loss of a loved one, or this is your first holiday season without someone special in your life. We're just going to do this in dedication to that. We'll play it twice. So maybe the second time around, I'll turn around and cue you. You can sing along, please. Okay? Here's Silent Night. Next, we're going to play Foom Foom Foom, or better known up here as number 30 in the book. Every year we have a guest conductor. And yeah, I've had repeat guest conductors through the years. This year, this one is no stranger to the tuba community. He is currently the band director at Springfield Local High School, Mr. DJ DePanicus. Let's welcome him up to the stage. We're going to now feature our little group within a group here. And we're going to bring out a small group of tubas and euphoniums and a vocalist. They're going to do a song called Santa Wants a Tuba for Christmas. And I'd like to introduce the players here. Mr. Dan Nestich, who is the band director at Hubbard, Elizabeth Orlando, Dave Otney and John Fitch, they're the euphonium players, Tony Dionato, and of course here's Mr. DJ DePanicus. They're gonna play the tubas. And the band director here at Niles High School, Steve Orlando, is going to be the vocalist. So we hope you enjoy this. It's a fun little tune called Santa Wants a Tuba for Christmas.
Santa gives toys to good girls and boys. He's done it for years and years. But who would have thought that Santa has got a special wish of his own? Santa wants a tuba for Christmas. He knows playing tuba is fun. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas, but who's gonna give him one? Santa wants a tuba for Christmas, a bright shiny tuba to play. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas, so please won't you send one his way? Santa knows the tuba blows the jolliest sound you'll hear. What he hopes to see waiting under his tree is a tuba to toot when he's finished his route. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas. He never got a present before. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas. It's all that he's ever asked for. It's all that he's ever asked for. Take it, Santa. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas. He never got a present before. Santa wants a tuba for Christmas. It's all that he's ever asked for. It's all that he's ever asked for.
Let's have another round of applause for them. Wasn't that awesome? Now, where is Tuba Christmas? Obviously, we're here in Stambaugh Auditorium, 227 nationwide, 16 in Ohio. And of course, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, many of them, I'm sure, have been canceled or done differently. So again, we are very blessed to be here this afternoon. Later today, in Canton, at the Johnson Center Malone, there's another Tuba Christmas concert that begins at 7:30. And I think a couple of these players are leaving here and driving out to Canton. On Saturday, December 11th, there are 3 Erie, PA, at 12 o'clock p.m. Also at 12 noon, one in Worcester, at Worcester High School, and at Ashtabula at Lakeside High School, also at 1 o'clock. So you got roughly 3 Tuba Christmases within a general area are happening at the same time, and also they're going to be well attended with players and audience members as well. Saturday, on December 18th, Akron, and it's at their E.J. Thomas Hall. One performance is at 12 noon and another one at 2:30. They have to do 2 performances because they get about 500 to 600 players. So they have to do it, they have to do it in shifts. Also, on Sunday, December 19th, in Lorraine, near Cleveland, Lorraine Palace Civic Theater at 2 o'clock. So if you're from this area, or you came from out of the area, there's probably a Tuba Christmas near you. You could go to tubachristmas.com, and it says, where is Tuba Christmas? You can pick out all the Tuba Christmases by state, by nation, by time, by date, whenever. And if you choose to go to another Tuba Christmas concert, I mean, I urge you to go check it out. Please do. You know, maybe you want to just track down the site and everything, whatever restrictions they might have as far as personnel, masks, all that stuff. Just double check, okay? Our next set we're going to do, Angels We Have Heard on High, followed by Carol of the Bells. All right. Where do tuba players and baritone players come from? And just a show of hands, all the players we have here, who actually, when they were in beginning bands, started on the same instrument that they're playing right now? Raise your hand. Started on the same instrument. How many of them started on a different instrument and had to be convinced to play the tuba? Probably more players than when you actually started. And I know, as being a music educator myself, yeah, I'm fortunate. I taught at Boardman for 6 years, and I've been in Austintown for 23 years. And, no, actually 17 years at Austintown. I'm doing my math wrong. And, yes, we begin tuba players there, and a lot of schools do that. And a lot of schools, they have to convince people to play tuba. I know I've had to do some switch arounds myself, okay? I started off on the clarinet. I took clarinet lessons for 3 years. And my third year playing the clarinet, going from 6th grade to 7th grade, I was horrible. I had a horrible sound, a very horrible sound. I just didn't have it right here. And my new band director, when I went to middle school, said, well, you know something, I need a baritone player. Would you try playing baritone? And I said, okay, I gave it a shot. And then my next year, in 8th grade, he needed a tuba player. So, okay, I played the tuba. And I never touched a clarinet since. Now, nothing against clarinet players. My wife is a clarinet player and everything. My older brother was a clarinet player. That's why I started, because I had to play the same instrument he did. But it just how it just worked out. We had, but we also have this breed of musician out there. They think they're better than everybody else. They think they're the best. They're always trying to play the highest, the loudest, and the fastest. And they're the biggest show-offs on the face of this earth. And this breed of musicians is called the trumpet player. Do we have any trumpet players playing with us? We have a few trumpet players who upgraded to play with us. Now, my friend, a trumpet player, he's not here today. Michael Summers, a band director at Liberty, he would say upgrade, and he's a trumpet player. Sometimes he plays baritone. But they're always trying to play loud and fast. Now, how many of you came to this concert not really expecting what to hear? Raise your hands. Not really expecting, okay? You probably expected something loud and boisterous and obnoxious tubas and baritones. And yes, that's pretty much what we do. We're in the back of the band. We get to play loud all the time and, you know, just loud oompa music. Now, how many of you came here expecting something different but heard these beautiful sounds that the instruments can make? How about that? So we're going to play We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And just to display like all the beautiful sounds that a tuba and euphonium can create, we're going to play it 3 times. And I'm going to announce who they're for. Okay, so the first time is just for good old musicians here, making good sounds on the tuba and baritone. Here's We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Okay, we're going to play it the second time now. We're going to do it just a little bit faster, just to show people that, yeah, tubas can play fast also. We're gonna play it again even faster. Now, are there any trumpet players out here just came to watch? Raise your hand. Or you one time played the trumpet. Okay, so you're probably not really impressed right now with the speed, are you? No, you're probably not. But we are going to play it at a trumpet player's speed. Just our little message to trumpet players that, yes, we can do that too. Before we play our last song, I just wanted to give some shout-outs again. It's like a name-dropping session. Last year, the Tuba Christmas concert was virtual. Who actually caught it online last year? Maybe a few of us did. I chose to stay home last year for safety reasons, family reasons. And my friend Bob Antonucci, he is unable to be here today due to a prior commitment. But he's also an excellent tuba player. He's a band director at Lowellville High School. And he also teaches tuba at Westminster College, and he stepped in and he conducted Tuba Christmas last year. We had about 15 players, and we were spread out all throughout the stage. And it was all virtual, all online. So I want to thank him, and some of those players' kids come back this year. I want to thank them for showing up and doing that. Stand up. If you played the virtual concert last year, stand up. Good play. Our deepest appreciation of them for braving the waters and coming in here to record that. Thank you very much. And of course, Bob Antonucci, thank you very much for stepping in to do that. And of course, it was like a band director name dropping session, but there's a good reason to, because we're the ones that were creating music. Band directors, choir directors, orchestra directors. And what would Christmas be without beautiful music? And you came here today listening to beautiful music. I mean, who does not enjoy Christmas music? Well, there's more. Not just more Tuba Christmas concerts, but there's stuff going on here in this auditorium. Tomorrow night is the Youngstown Symphony Youth Orchestra. And so these are middle school, high school students, all from different schools in the northeastern Ohio, western PA. And they get together once a week, rehearse, and they're going to perform beautiful music. I mean, it's going to be great seeing young adults doing great things with music. There's also other events happening this week. I think Tuesday, someone told me Manheim Steamroller. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wednesday, YSU Dana School of Music. They're doing a Carols and Cocoa concert. It's like a Christmas celebration here. I don't know if you've ever been to these or not, but they're great events. Next Sunday is a big event happening right here in Stambaugh Auditorium. It's the Holiday Concert of Giving. The Youngstown Symphony Chorus and the Youngstown Area Community Concert Band. These are all volunteer musicians, and they're both excellent groups. They are doing a combined concert here at 4 o'clock next Sunday. And it's going to be the 10th annual Holiday Concert of Giving. And all donations, check or cash, go to the Second Harvest Food Bank. In the past 10 years, this concert has raised $43,000. Now, if you choose to attend a concert, these are cash, check donations. Please do not bring food. It's money donations. And not only that, this area is just blessed to have a whole wide variety of musical performances. My colleagues here in music education here, we're all getting ready for our Christmas concerts coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And so there's going to be stuff going on almost probably every night until Christmas. So yes, if you have a chance in your neighborhood school, whatever, and each school might have different protocols for COVID reasons. I understand it. Just look that up, maybe see. But what can hurt to go out and support your local high school or local middle school band, orchestra, choir concerts? You get to see young kids doing great things. And they need to be supported because we're living in tough economic times, and we're living in an area where, schools are being downsized of programs and everything. Things are just getting smaller. This pandemic did not help much, so a lot of band, choir programs, orchestra programs, we're all putting the pieces back together somehow and trying to keep things going. So please, the live music does need to be supported. It's great to see an awesome audience here today. It's just amazing to be back in front of an audience also. So I want to thank you for coming to this concert today. Thank you very much. I figured if they could fill 70,000 people for a football game, we could have a Tuba Christmas concert, right? So seriously, thank you very much. Let's have a round of applause for the staff here at Stambaugh Auditorium for making things accommodating for us. I know a lot of places have still closed down or having many restrictions. I know they got restrictions here, but still they're making it work. So yes, kudos to the staff here of Stambaugh Auditorium. They're really making it work, and great things are happening here. This is one of the finest halls in the nation. Stambaugh Auditorium. Lastly, I want to thank these performers. We have about 80 players here on the stage, and that's par for the course. So we didn't really slip any, except for last year. So I want to thank these performers here on the stage. Thank you all very much. We average 80 to 100 players. We had one choice year, we were 130. So it's par for the course. So we're back. All right. We got one more tune we're going to play for you. Here is Jingle Bells. Now, Jingle Bells, this song is going to be interlaced with another popular march called National Emblem. I'm sure you're familiar with it. If you're not familiar with the title, you're familiar with the tune. So we're going to play Jingle Bells. Obviously, we don't have Jingle Bells, but if you want to jingle along, get out your car keys and jingle along. If you hear the Jingle Bell part, please sing Jingle Bells along with us. And when you hear the march part, clap the downbeats, okay? Here is Jingle Bell. Toot toot. I would like to hear a little part of Jingle Bells again. But I need you to clap more and I need you to sing louder. But before we do, on your way out, there is a donation table to the Goodwill. There's a Goodwill donation. Okay, if you feel free to donate whatever you feel necessary. That's up to you. But they're taking donations out on the table, out in the lobby. And also, for your friends who, maybe did not feel comfortable coming, that's totally understandable. Nothing wrong with that. I get it. But they could also watch this. It's being live streamed. So you could also watch it again if you go home.
Just go on Stambaugh.auditorium.com, and there will be instructions on downloading an app, or you just watch it live right there. You can watch it again tonight if you feel like it. So it's also going to be on YouTube as well. So you get the chance to watch this all over again. So here's Jingle Bells again. Clap along and sing along. Let's actually start this. Merry Tuba Christmas. Thank you all very much. When the holiday season approaches next year, go on tubachristmas.com. You'll see it all over social media. Come back to our concert. Thank you very much. This is probably our greatest audience ever. Thank you very much for coming out. Merry Tuba Christmas.